We see the plants growing.
We have news. Come on.
And this is the carriage.
Wait, let him tell. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us.
This is the carriage transportation that they used to have back in the days.
So it's like a wagon.
This is the carriage that used to stay here. Oh, and this is the house right here, and the plants that is growing. And this.
A scarecrow.
Why do they put a scarecrow there?
And they put a scarecrow there for the birds to get out.
Yeah, so they'll leave the plant away alone.
There's ducks over there.
Where?
Over here.
Oh, look at the ducks.
Where?
It's bad. I'm gonna get Fox a video anyway.
And there's.
Go here.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have it.
And there's ducks eating their food.
That's what it sounds like. These are farm guys.
There's one right there too. Right there, right there. I see that.
Hey! Stop screaming at each other. One line in the back. Move back, make it work.
Girls, let's go. Ready, set, go.
Wait.
Got it, go. You afraid? Guys, move. I'm taking a picture. Oh. That was sticking your hands in there.
They like grass. So
Feed them grass. Oh, so give me a piece.
Where are the reporters? My reporters, where you at? Talk.
That's for you.
Okay.
these are the horses eating grass.
All right, let's explorers.
Listen, explorers.
And the other
Listen.
horse.
Listen, everyone
Turn around.
They knew they were good in butter making, okay? Now I know you're excited, so what we're going to do is walk down here. Oh, is this a separate group?
Oh, sorry.
Turkeys. And now remember, over here. Taking a picture, then step back for others to see, okay?
All right, Chimaka, step back.
This is the old pits. This is what was under the building. You can come in, there's enough room. We have Now listen, so you understand, we're not going to stay here, but let me explain something.
Listen, please.
This is how they would take in the day. They have steam engines and so forth to take the kernels off the cob for the animals, okay? Later, I don't know who's going to do it, but we usually grind the corn up to feed the chickens. But this is all done by equipment. So, excuse me. All right, so you can see pictures behind you. And over here, right here, there is some equipment right here with the shredders. All right? Under here would be, in the old days, like an open pit. And that was used to feed the animals. All the food was done on a fodder. They would chop up anything for greens, and they were stored underneath for the food for the winter. Whoops. All right, let's go on the other part of the upper barn.
So everybody fits. Is that everybody, or there's still
Yeah.
Oh no, because we decided to break up into 2 groups, so it's much better than all the children together.
That makes sense.
Come on, guys, move in. Come on, move up, move in. Okay. All right, do you know what building you're in? Well, what's a big building that keeps the animals safe on a farm?
Barn.
Very good, barn. And over here, this is where we store something that the animals eat. Raise your hand if you might know what it is. hay. Now I'm going to go over here, and I'll be right back because there's something else stored here that's important to the animals too.
Miss Laura, can I get another guide to do our group because if there was too many? Can I have someone come over here and just talk to our kids and break them up? Is there someone I can grab?
We're pretty much farmed out. I'll move around as much as I can in just a moment.
Okay, because it's too many of them to be in one group.
Yeah, I know. They could go up to the cottage if they'd like and look at the garden. They could go up to the historic house
And then
kind
come
of look.
back down here?
Yes, that would be a good interim thing.
Okay, and no one else? Is someone up
There's
there?
no one up there at this point, no.
So we have to do it. Yeah, last year you had a lot more guides.
Well, it's all I can get.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of volunteers this
Okay,
year,
okay.
and we're short at least three staff members today.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so we'll just go take a walk up.
yeah, it's a nice walk. You can see maybe the other animals. Well, we saw the hay that the animals eat. Okay, we'll just leave that on the pile. Let's leave that on the pile. Thank you. And then here's something else that's important to animals. We have hay and not this. This is wheat, but this is
Sticks. Grains.
if you get
Hay.
milk at school, you drink it through a
Straw.
This is straw. And while the animal eats the hay, this is what is his bed or her bed. It goes on the floor to make it more comfortable for the animal. And you won't be able to see it too well, but like the straw that you drink through, it's hollow. It's hollow. There's nothing inside, it's just like a big tube. And that's because straw comes from something like this, wheat. All the insides, all the nutrition went to the end part where the little grains are, where the oats or the wheat happen to be. So, they eat that, they sleep on that, and then the farmer gets oats or other grains to grind up so we can have bread and cereal and things like that to eat. Now look over there at those white boxes. Does anybody have any idea what they might be for? Kind of a hard question.
To keep your clothes in, like a dryer.
Sounds like an idea. Sounds like a good farm idea. But something alive will live in there.
Cats.
Alive.
Not chickens. They're little tiny insects.
Beetles.
Yes, these are parts of a beehive. And you can see they're different sizes and they can be stacked one on the other. We're expecting to get some bees to move in very soon, so we're getting their hive, their house ready. So that's what the farmer's been doing. He's been painting them and making a nice hive for the bees that will be coming soon. So, any questions about our barn? It's a place where we store things. We have to have the hives getting ready. Pardon? This young lady asked a very good question. The animals live and stay downstairs. So that means we have to get the hay and the straw to the animals. So you can't see it because this is stacked there. But if we were able to go over in that corner, there's a big box. And the box is open. So if the farmer wants hay, he goes over to that big box with a big bale of hay, and he throws it in the box because the box has an open bottom and it goes directly to the downstairs part.
Hold it.
All right, that is a hay fork. Sometimes they bring in the hay not in bales. See nice little rectangles over here? A long time ago, it would come on the back of a wagon all loose. Okay? So they would, by wagon something like that, that blue one over there, would just be full of loose hay. And then they would take that big hook, they'd lower it down, grab the hay, and then move it over to where they want to store it? Good question. Any other questions before we go to another spot? They can use it, but when we get hay in bales like that, we don't need the hook, the hay fork as much. That's more of an old-fashioned way of dealing with hay. All right, we ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. So, the boys are going to come over in just a moment when they get back in their line, and they are going to milk the line for the boys behind me. Looks like the girls already have a pretty good line. With what stuck in the top? Feathers. And they're like darts. You know what I mean by darts.
Okay, Emma, you're back.
There was no running water. All our water came out of wells like that one there. They had to be pumped up into buckets. The animals needed water, you had to pump them water. You needed water to wash your hands, to cook with, to take a bath, and to wash your clothes. And I'm stuck here. This is Monday every day for me, because Mondays are wash day. So why don't half of you come stay here, and then the rest, half of you can go through the barn, see the animals, and come back?
We're going to go to the back.
Okay. All right. So, what we need first is some water out of the pump.
One line.
Take turns, kind of line up. Give it about...
Know what? If you're running, you can come sit beside me. Anyone running, you can come sit beside me.
Go ahead, about 4 pumps each. This is dirty water. This is only just pretending. It's not drinkable. It's not that. It's not. Okay. No, not this. This is only pretend. Go ahead, 4 pumps. Everybody. 1. I'll push it. If you wanted a bath, go ahead, 2. Keep going. 3. 4. Okay, next one. Come on. We don't have all day. I got wash to do. 1. If you wanted a bath, you had to pump buckets of water, carry it in the house, heat that water on the stove. Come on, faster. We got wash to do. 3. That's 4. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And baths were only on Saturday night. And the kids that had the best school reports and did their chores the best got the first bath. And all your brothers and sisters would use that same water, one after the other, to clean up. Go ahead, okay, I'm going to do wash, so come on down here.
Shh. No running. Listen, no running.
This would be your soapy water. And we got junk in my clean water. Then you'd scrub on the scrubbing board. You might be scrubbing the farmer's blue jeans that he was working in the field with. He has mud all over him. He has the horse's poop that got mixed up in the mud and turned up and kicked at him.
Ew.
You might be washing your own pillowcases or your sheets. You might be washing my petticoats or the baby's diapers.
Oh,
Of course, there weren't Pampers around or disposable
handkerchief.
diapers. They were all just cloth. Would have to be washed out, hung dry, and rinsed again. Once you're done washing, when you're done with the soapy water, you come over to the rinse water and you wring as dry as you can. You did the soapy water, scrub it. And you wring, that's it. One hand one way, one hand the other way. Get it as dry as you can.
That's what we do with her.
Yep, where's your pen?
Can you do it? Right. Ew, this is a baby diaper. That's what I'm thinking? He said imagine it. Watching a baby diaper.
And it comes here. Over here, guys. Hang from the end. This is a pulley. The only way to dry the clothes. We got one up the hill, too, if you want. Start at the end and push it out. There is no electric clothes dryer. So this is the only way. The sun and the wind would dry everything. If it was raining, I'd have to dry them someplace on the porch of the house.
just about 100 years ago, 1918 to 27. 1918 to 27. And my first question is, I have a couple of questions for you guys. What do you think that is? What kind of bell is that? What's it for? What was the bell used for? You want to guess? Yes?
I think to call the animals.
No, not to call the animals, not to wake up people, but that's a good guess. What?
To remind people it's time to feed the animals.
No, it wasn't like an alarm clock. What was it for? Yeah?
What? It was for an emergency.
No, that's a good guess too. It was a dinner bell, and that's because the farmers, the farm hands that worked for Mr. Woods would be way up in the fields, and if Mrs. Woods tried to say dinner time, they wouldn't hear her. So that bell is very loud. If I were to ring that bell, you can hear it all the way up at the end of the property. My second question is, what do you think this is? You know what this is?
Fridge.
It is. It's a refrigerator, except we should call it an ice box. There was no electricity in the farmhouse, which meant that they used oil lamps here. There was no electricity, so they didn't have an electric refrigerator. In the wintertime, they would cut blocks of ice from ponds on the property, and they would put the ice in the bottom here, and then it would keep the food cool. They would keep the ice all year long in the ice house up on over there, and as they needed, and it would be stacked in blocks between straw, and as they needed it, they would bring it down and put it in the refrigerator. But I'm guessing on a hot day like this, there probably was almost no ice left for the rest of the year. But here's what the ice box looked like. It kind of looks like our refrigerator, doesn't it? Can everybody see?
Those are the bottles that they use to drink in?
Yes, yeah, they used to fill them for different kinds of drinks. The other thing I wanted to point out here was the metal can here. This is a milk can. You know what? I think there's too many people. We're going to have to wait for the second group to come. Okay? Oh well, there's not that many. All right, well, we'll let you all come at once. Yeah. Hi. I'm talking about the farmhouse. This is a farmhouse exactly as it was from almost 100 years ago, 1918 to 1927.
Please, boys and girls.
Okay? This is a milk can. After the cows were milked, is everybody listening now?
You two come back. If you're going to be rude and disrespectful, you can be in front. Wait.
After the cows were milked, the milk was poured into cans like this, and they were put in the bottom of the creamery. The creamery is the little building down here, and the creamery had a stream beneath it. Can everybody listen up?
Yes.
Okay. The milk cans were put down in the creamery, then the next day they were brought in and they were used to make butter. Okay? All right, we're going to go inside and see what the farmhouse looked like. Because the stove, which was inside, was heated by wood, and that's how they heated the house. They had wood stoves to heat the house too. Good question.
We're going to go in there nicely and one at a time. Wait,
Okay.
boys and girls, one at a time. It's okay, there's enough.